Why hello there ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bigfoot and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever White Valley. In today's episode we've made one or two changes since the last. So first of all you can see that the road in between, ooh that's cool, that's a new graphical change. Barriers. We've actually upgraded the road in between Hampstead and Hetton. It had a lot of traffic on it as it was anyway, but I upgraded it just because it was required and I said I would do it and I've finally done it. It's going to make quite large differences at, or it should anyway, at places like this, which is good. It means that my trucks and cars, they shouldn't necessarily be stuck behind each other, and as we can see here, we can see cars passing trucks, which is what I'm wanting. I'm not wanting anyone get held up. In terms of upgrading this, I have done, and I've upgraded this because there was so many trucks on this road and production was being affected. So I upgraded this, and as we can see, there's no trucks waiting, which is good. It was just, vehicles were struggling to drop stuff off, and it just wasn't ideal at all. So with that said, what is the plan for this episode? I want to build another railway line, and I also want to go ahead and modify and continue to work on individual towns themselves. So in the last episode we built a tram in Maidstone, and I just want to check in how that's doing. As we can see here, it's actually in the profit already, so that is really exciting to see. The town itself is really big and it's got lots of areas which need connected up. Most importantly as well, this place here, which I'm actually going to look at the terminals, and you guys are all synced into one, which is not good. We'll stick you at 4, and there we go, that's much better. Basically, this town is huge. I still think Hetton is bigger. You've actually dropped in population, only by, what, 30, but you have dropped in population, which is interesting, so I'm really hoping this tram will actually go do a lot of good for this town, and I think it is. At least it's in the profit, and it's moving people around to the railway station. That's really what I'm needing, because most trains leaving here they're a bit hit and miss, honestly. It really depends on how the trams are doing right now. That train there has 51 people, which is okay. Then coming along here to Telscom, there is not a lot of people waiting. I would say the Crimson Line itself is actually doing relatively well. I mean, it's on 3.1 million. The Blue Line's still a bit hit and miss. I think I still need to organise trains on that a bit better, or just change the train type entirely, but I did that recently and it was quite costly, so I think I will leave that for now. So what the plan is for today is I want to move goods, I want to move coal specifically, from these two coal plants here, X and Y, up onto the passenger line, which yes, I said that, onto the passenger line, so it's going to share that line, and it's going to come all the way up to here, and it's going to drop stuff off here. The reason is because I want to create more steel. Then we're going to have a separate line which comes from there via the sawmill, but I'm probably not going to connect that sawmill up and come down to here. Alternatively, I could just build a line, you know, I'm actually going to do that, scrap that, so I'm just going to build it via the steel mill. I'm going to, basically this hill's in the way, so I can either go one way around or the other way around, and I'm going to go the other way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with, at this end, is a big ass station. It's going to be a cargo station, and we're going to rotate you. You're going to have, you really don't need 3 platforms, I think you honestly just need the 1. Should I need 2? No, I don't think so. So what's going to happen is coal's going to go from here. Or should coal go from the other one? You know what, no, coal's going to go from here. Would that be best? Yeah, I think so. So coal's going to go from here and it's going to get trucked over from this one here, I believe. And it's going to come into here. What we're going to do is we're going to situate you probably in about there like that, which is good. Most of this is going to be a single line, or at least part of it is anyway, just because I believe I don't know if I should start off with 1 or 2 trains. I've not decided yet. It really comes down to money actually. We've also got better buses and better trucks in that unlock, so we'll come back to that in a second anyway. But what's going to happen is you're going to come along here. Then you are going to, this is going to be a problem actually, I think we're too close to this road. Plus I can't seem to snap on There we go. What I want to happen is this road used? You don't think it's not used anymore actually, is it? So we can actually go ahead and get rid of that part there. It's not the prettiest, I understand that. But what you're going to do is you are going to continue along parallel to this road. And this is where things are going to get a little bit more interesting. So I actually just want you to directly intersect that, because you're not going in that direction. We've actually got an iron mine here as well, which is kind of interesting. So we could definitely, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a train station here as well. Again, I don't think I'll use it right now, but it's there for the future. So at 240 in length, please. We'll stick you in about... Now see, this is difficult. There's not actually a lot of room here just because it's quite hilly. So what I think I will do is I'll even bring you back all the way to there. Unable to align terrain. I thought that was going to happen. We'll stick you as more like of a siding round here. I can't even align terrain there anymore. What is going on? This is bad. I'm going to have you literally up on the mountain. Which shouldn't be too bad actually. Should still be in sphere of influence. But then is that even too high up? Well, if you cannot find your own solution, you need to make your own solution. So I just did a tiny bit of terraforming there, and this is just going to run through. So I don't think I'm actually going to use this right now anyway, but what we're going to do is we're just going to have this coming out of here. The problem is it goes straight into a tunnel. It's just, again, the land here. But it's not a bad thing actually, so you're going to come round here. This is where this line's going to be quite costly, I feel. Then I really need you to surface, you know that. But I don't think... you actually do want to surface, that's good. However, I also don't want this really ugly bit here. Do you level out, or you... No, you do continue to incline, which is good. What I think if we can do is we have you surface up about here, then you should be... Or, I've got a better idea. Let's have you go over like that. And then have you surface at this side. Like so, yep, perfect. And then what we're going to do is have a station in here, and I'm hoping that you will be in sphere of influence. I'm not really at all sure if you will be in sphere of influence, but I need to hope and pray. First of all, we got alignment issues. I'm going to make this work actually. I'm going to need to make this work, that's the problem. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sink this down a tiny bit. I'll sort this out again later. Then if we jump back into there, and voila, that's that problem solved. Question is, are you in sphere of influence? I am nervous about this, that's for sure. No, you're not, are you? Please, please, please. No. It's going to be the shortest truck route ever, I think. Or tell you what, I'm just going to change this very quickly. Right, so there we go, that's me got the solution. This is in sphere of influence, but it doesn't connect from that side. But the thing is, I don't need it to connect from that side, I only need it from this side because the tools are going to be coming down from this direction. So we're just going to be basically bypassing this station. Then we're going to continue along and we're going to pass over. Probably have a passing place and maybe a rail yard there. And then we're going over there, so it's still some journey, you know that, it really is, and it's probably going to be quite a costly one as well. So far on this line I've probably already spent about 10 million, which is honestly quite a lot, and I really don't want to build a bridge here either, just because it'll look very unnatural. So if we just sort of ride this hill here, then we can again have another stop here. I'm not going to bother about wood right now, because wood itself is... I suppose you're going to be going down to there anyway, so... I mean, this line's mainly being built for coal, to be honest. You need to remember that. This is mainly for coal, so... It's not for other things, because the coal's the thing that's struggling. Other things aren't as of right now. So how are we going to play this? I don't really know, to be honest, where the station is going to go. What I am thinking of doing is trying something pretty special. Not that I think it's going to work, though. What I would like to try and give a go is something like that. However, I think that bridge is just a bit too low lying. Yeah, it is. I mean, we could get you working there, but then I don't think you'd be in sphere of influence of the station necessarily. I'm going to give this a go and see if it actually works. So what I want to do is probably build you there. which we can do, and then if we connect this road up to there like so, you've got to be in Sphere of... Yes, you are in Sphere of Influence. You're a beauty. Not the prettiest here, mind you, but it will work going forwards. And that's nice. I really like that, actually. I mean, at the same time, it's maybe not the most prettiest in terms. Actually, it kind of works. It kind of works. The train's going to be able to run anyway, and in terms of actually the graphical look, you can just classify this overhead wire as attached to under the bridge, which you often get. Like, you know when you go through tunnels, the wire's just attached to the ceiling there of the... or the underside of the bridge, sorry. So that is really what I feel is happening. So the final part to do is to simply just go ahead and connect you up like that. So this railway line as well, it's very hilly and it's not flat, and it overcomes a lot of obstacles, let's put it that way, but it should get the job done. Now what I'm going to do on this line is wood right now. I'm really tempted, but let's just get the coal on the go first. So what I'm going to need is, I'm going to probably run 2 trains, because I think we can definitely support 2 trains. We're going to need a passing place, or at least a long stretch double track. And I'm going to do double track where double track is cheap. That's really the bottom line. I don't like keeping trains stationary, but at the same time, I've not bought the trains yet. The trains themselves are going to cost about 20 million each, I believe. So it's going to cost me quite a lot, and that's why I can't go ahead and double up this whole track. Especially the longer tunnels, because the longer tunnels are going to be way too costly. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a nice long stretch into there, and that works out nicely. What we're going to do is we're going to have you coming out here and you coming out... Why is that being strange? I don't know. There we go, that works out better. So you can go ahead and go into that station if required, which you will at some point. Not going to double up this tunnel because it is ridiculously long. In terms of actually stopping at this station, again right now it's not going to happen. And I don't know how I'm going to get this to happen if you're going to give me terraforming issues. Can we do that? Well, I mean that's... we're going to undo that, that's awful. That looks absolutely awful. Get rid of you there as well, mate. Come back to that, we're not connecting that part up right now anyway. Then in terms of down here, when we're back in the valley, we can definitely go ahead and double up the railway line, no problemo. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just after the crossroads here I think, we can have a nice long straight, and this should really just get us back into the station, no problem at all. So right along here, snap to there, perfecto, and then you are going to merge into there like so. So with that done, that is great. That's pretty much this good to go. So is this truck, are you guys in sphere of influence of each other? I think you all are, which is good. So we should be pretty much good to go here actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the trains on from here. And I'm just going to build myself a wee train depot just to the side. So let me jump into trains, into depots, grab the default depot, and pivot you around like that. So what trains are we going to be going for? Well, first of all, it's really what wagons can we use, and it's probably going to be these bad boys because these can carry quite a lot. I don't think we have anything higher that can carry coal, that is. No. So, I mean, we're not actually that bad anyway. I mean, 13 is a good amount of goods, which is not bad at all. So we'll set you to coal. 99 miles per hour is our top speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12 I'm going to go for, I think, there. So that's me pushing the limits a little bit. And especially going uphill, this will be incredibly slow. Now in terms of trains, we're looking for the tractive effort. This is the effort that basically the amount of weight it can pull effectively. I want this to be quite a high number. But at the same time I also want the train to be relatively cheap as well. We're looking at what, 240 at the bottom there, though I'm not going to use that obviously. What about a train like you? You've only got a tractive effort of 200, 135, 177... 260, you're quite good at that price. Your top speed's 87 miles per hour. You're never really going to reach that anyway. Or we can go with that for 16 million. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this class 102, I believe, and go for that. And all in all, the train costs me about 20 million. Yeah, I think that was 19 million, the two trains, which overall isn't too shabby. So that's you guys good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this line up now. So this is our first ever goods railway, which I'm really excited about. And as soon as I get this going, I can pretty much turn off the trucks, which is more exciting too. So you are going to be the T, and then you are going to be... What are you going to be called? We'll just call you Hetton Coal, because it sort of is going via Hetton, so that's Hetton Coal, and that is pretty much ready to go actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these two trains out onto that line. Now, I do not have lights, that's the only thing I don't have in place, so I'll very quickly go ahead and stick some of you guys in. You guys are going to be right beside each other for a while though, so it's not the biggest greatness to be honest, but there's not much I can do about it anyway. So let's just stick some lights in along this long stretch here. This is a really large passing place, so I'm really hopeful that the trains, they should never be waiting for too long, because the two passing places, I mean at least half of the track is doubled up, which is a significant amount, so that's really, really good. We also might have a third train on here within the next episode going into there too. I'm quite excited about that. Then have another signal there for the tunnel. Coming through the tunnel. The tunnel's quite long and it is singular, so yeah, that could cause some problems. I could see have a light there, have two lights there, have you guys there, and then that should pretty much just be into the depot itself. Should we put another light there, then we should be all good. So you're off, you're on the move, you're quite long, and that should fit into the station no problem. So we really need you to actually start at this end, which kind of sucks, but oh well. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the current coal route. So we are, that's not good. We're both in the negative there. Very not good at all. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn this around. Everything else is profitable, right? Because I can't afford to lose too much money, the amount I'm investing right now. I will go ahead and sort that out later on. That's just so disappointing. These guys are... I don't know if they're too close together as well, maybe? I really need to investigate that properly, and I'll do that in between episodes. What we are going to do is we're going to get rid of that truck route, though. So you are a pink salmon colour. You are Hampstead Steel. No. You are something coal. Probably G Hampstead Coal, so you're this. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell all the vehicles, and then we're going to delete the route. So that's quite significant, because now all the production here should now, and it is already going on to the train station, which is good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a truck area over here, which we'll just need a small, because this should just be point to point, and you go there. Then we're going to create a new route so we can double the amount of coal that's going up to the steel plant. Then we might need to actually up the iron input, so that's something interesting to note. You can't go to there directly, can you? No, so close you and stick you into there like that. So this is just going to be the Burnham coal route, and then with that done we should be able to just put trucks in that straight away, and that should go onto the railway line, no problem. I think it should work like that. I can't really remember going ahead, and this is what I mean by extra capacity, by the way. Look at these bad boys. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 you guys onto this. I can't really remember ever going ahead and creating a route which, I need to add a G in front of that, a route which takes stuff just to a station. I've always had the station in sphere of influence, but I'm guessing things just aren't, I mean, I can't have a station that long, you know what I mean, so we'll just have to see how things go. Anyway, the coal production here is still pretty high, which is good. We're just waiting on pickups now, and that's just going to be determined by the trains. One of them is just about to arrive in there, which is good, and the other one is very far behind, which is good actually. That's good spacing, so we should get a decent amount of build up. In terms of how are you doing? Yeah, it's lack of steel. You're struggling with steel. How is steel doing up here? There's actually a lot of steel to ship, and that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to go ahead and already upgrade this to, yeah, see, that's annoying. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to delete this bridge, and I need to extend this because I want to actually get a second train. I want to start moving this stuff, I want to start moving the steel anyway, via train down to here. So just again get rid of more trucks, because I think this will be more efficient, plus it's easier to track, I feel, as well if you've got trains. And we've got line in place anyway, so let me currently think. So you are probably the Hetton or Hampstead Steel, so yeah, this is the current one right now. And you just drop stuff off, you're probably on the way to pick stuff up. A lot of you guys are empty, you know that. Are any's got anything on yous? Yeah, you've got 16. Are you the only one going south? That's where we're probably having the issues. The amount of trucks we have here, though, having one single train doing all the work, I think would be better. And most of this section as well is doubled all the way. I think all the way there is doubled, which it is actually, so that's very important to note. So that would make life really, really easy going into there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause. We are going to delete this bridge. I thought it was really just a bit ambitious, to be honest, and it's not quite worked out the way I wanted it to. But let's upgrade you to platforms 2. Again, we shouldn't need any more than that ever unless we start moving woods via train, but I'm not going to have a lorry which goes from there to here and then just stop there, you know what I mean? That would just be way too pointless. Let's go ahead and see what we can do now in terms of solving this problem. What I think I'm going to have to do is I think I'm going to have to cut that back quite a bit, and also same here at this end as well. So we jump back into lines, and then we go for the outer line first. Then we have train alignment collisions, which is totally understandable. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm actually going to have to cut this back quite drastically. And I could just have you going via a different way, you know that, but there's a solution to this, which is to go ahead and raise you up here. And then that should be able to create the necessary lift that we need. So you coming around here like so. See, you're not actually really wanting to play ball, are you? That's annoying. Can we not get a collision? Is there any way we can not get a collision? Like if we were to change bridge types? Collision, collision, collision. Well, that one's awful. It's not even a bridge, really. Yeah, it's not. Oh, now it did work there for about a millisecond. I'm gonna try solve this basically. So there we go. As you can see, we now have this into full operation. It's a bit weird actually. It sort of goes up, then dips and goes. Not the prettiest, but it gets the job done. And there's so much more clearance now than there once was before, which is great. Doesn't actually affect this track up above either, which is good. As we can still see, it is still a pretty good speed. That 75 is the train station, which you wouldn't be going 75 miles per hour anyway, but you understand what I'm saying. I've also gone ahead and pre-built the line as well, so the brown line is going to be the steel train, and then this purple line is currently the coal one, so that's how things are going to work. It's all doubled up all the way along to here now, where it'll come into this siding, and then it will go ahead and start to get to work on better machine production here at the Hetton Machine Factory. So with that done, what do we need to do now? We just need to get a train onto that part of the line, and then we should be good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and buy a train. It's going to be quite similar to before, so if we go to wagons, now we're needing to carry steel, so steel doesn't go via that kind of wagon. It will not be, what one does it go via, or on? If it's not that, then it must be the state cars. Yeah, so there we go. So we can get 13 on this, which again I believe is the same as the coal trains. Now, we're only going to have one train doing steel though, so that's a little bit different. So this is going to probably be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. so that's quite long. Again, I actually think it's the same size. This time though, I'm going to go for a much more powerful, or I don't even need a much more powerful engine. And we'll just go with this one here, and then we'll stick you on the line, and you should be good to go. With that done, what I can now do is I can actually go ahead and get rid of the steel trucks, because I no longer need them either. It's good to see that the Crimson Express is back in the profit. Again, I don't know how long for though. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into here. Now the steel trucks have been around for a long time, and there is a shit ton of them as well, and it is quite successful. But we're going to go ahead and sell all the trucks and sell that line, and that's us taking even more stuff now off the roads. So I'm just trying to think, how much coal is down here? Well, it's actually been picked up for the first time. 120 coal, that's a very good amount. It should actually get to its destination much faster as well, as long as there's not too many hold-ups, which there never really should be. In terms of the production down at these two, let's go ahead and have a look. Ooh, now those bendy buses, I know they can carry 60 people, so that's like double what we currently have, so that would be very nice. You're at 64, so you are increasing slowly but surely, and then you are at still 300 odd, so that's very good indeed. My worry is now we're not going to have enough iron output, but I think we should. I mean, it's such a short journey between those two, so I'm just worried that we're going to be getting more coal coming in, but at the same time right now this is crashing anyway, so how's this place doing? This place is doing okay. What are you trucks from? Yous are bringing along all this iron ore, which 4 of it, 5 of it. So yeah, I mean, we're not going to struggle for iron anytime soon, I think. That's for sure. Anyway, we'll check on that in just a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much going to just go over the map and see how things are doing. So the trains I'm going to sort out separately. I mean, again, they're not actually doing bad, but I could do with them doing much better, if you understand what I'm saying. In terms of the bus changes we've made recently, Hampstead up to... See, I just added a shit ton of buses onto this Bawtry line. I'll keep what I call it Bawtry, but... And it's just not had any effect, you know what I mean? I mean, you're full, you've just left and you're already full, so it's not going to help any of those out. So that's not very good. Portishead is doing not too bad, it's doing better than it was, but it's still added an extra 6 buses onto it, and it's... You know, it's still pretty hectic. Chorley, the town itself, is doing quite good. The train station has got a decent amount of people waiting, which is nice. How many people has this train got? Only 9, so I think you need to slow down. Because, yeah, there is a train just left, so that's the problem. Train 8, we're just gonna make you wait for ages. How's the trams doing? So the one here in Chorley is very slightly negative. Hardly at all, which is nice to see. My other trams, the Maidstone one's doing a lot better than I thought. Really a lot better than I thought. And then the Burnham one's, it's taking a turn for the worse, but I can see in the background up in this corner, the amount of people waiting at Burnham to go on the blue line, 250. So it's just the spacing out of trains, it's just not going very well. But again, that's me stop train 8, so that will hopefully make that little bit of difference. And you're already got a lot of people waiting here, which is nice to see. I think there should be these 2 trains, and then the other 2 trains should pretty much be at the other ends. In saying that, I'm not 100% sure where they are. Yeah, they both are down. One of them's over there. You probably relatively full. I don't know, it's very strange. And then the other one's there. So you've got 74, so I don't know, it's very strange. A lot of people want to go to Hetton actually. What I might do long term, and I probably will do long term, is break the line up into smaller chunks because you get more profit that way, and I know that from the Grand Canyon series and Scotland, that's for sure. So right now though, I'm just going to go for these longer lines because I think they're quite cool. Plus the Crimson Line, it's just such a cool name. I love that, the Crimson Line, which is very nice indeed. Anyway, in terms of coal, this train is just left. And you're on 117, you're coming in, and you are not going to get that much, to be fair, 28. The one that's coming in, I'm actually going to make you wait for a little bit. So your production all in all is definitely down quite drastically. Yours is, I mean, it's nice spread out between these two, which is, I mean, fair enough. But I'm very disappointed in terms of the actual amount of coal being produced. I think we might need to add in an extra train on there to maybe go ahead and just give that a little bit of a oomph, because the amount of trucks we had on this route, even though they weren't that consistent, it's maybe worth going ahead and considering the capacity, because if I was to add up the truck's capacity, all of them, I'm not really at all sure if it would be higher. In saying that though, the production here is at 400. So that's interesting to note, and there's quite a lot of steel being produced. The biggest indication though is if here's increased. So it was about maybe, okay, so it's at 92. It's gone down slightly, but we need to try and get that 90 figure up to 200. That's really what the aim is, and that will be the aim the next episode as well. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this episode up here. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please leave a like, right, and subscribe if you are new around here. In the next episode we're going to be doing that, but I also want to go ahead and start to upgrade a lot of buses, and that's what I'm actually going to do in between episodes. So what I'm going to do is, currently we've got a lot of these buses here. I'm actually going to change a lot of these out, and I'm going to go for some of the newer buses which we've got, because they're so much better. It's same with trucks as well. I think I might go ahead and change a lot of the trucks. I'm just going to do a lot of upgrading, that's really the bottom line. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.